and it's the end of May, and I've just come for a quick look at the river. I wasn't expecting as much water as this. These tops this weir. There's a lot more going over here than I expected. And that's just looking downstream there. You can see the island and the little on the left hand side there. You can see that you can get on it. You haven't been able to do that for a while. And Topcliffe Church. Just slightly hidden behind that big ash tree. It's a wonderful day. It's 26 degrees Celsius. This is the stretch above the weir, which I've never seen anybody fishing over here, ever. It's Bradford number 1 on the other side. I've seen people fishing there. Some nice bluebells. Well, these are some wonderful chub and barbel in the River Swale here. A nice barbel there. Yeah, the barbel are beginning to spawn. You can see the well, that's a stunning fish, that one there. Big hen fish. Wonderful sort of pinky orange fins. Lovely dorsal fin, lovely tail. And a big chub, an enormous chub. Nice blue tail. big shoal of small fish. I don't know what they are. Nice. There's a big chub and a big barbel together. Like two massive chub. Well, you could watch them forever. I mean, you could. It's very addictive, but you've got a hen fish here surrounded by about 3 males, and she's spawning. Well, I think we just have to leave them to get on with it. Well, that's a wonderful sight. Tremendous chub, great barbel, barbel spawning. I always think that's one of the loveliest views when you're fishing on the Swale. Just downstream of this streamer weed, I'll see if I can. Maybe that's a barbel. Yeah, I think that's a barbel. Two of them. There are 5 altogether. There's 1, 2, 3. They are big fish. Well, that was an amazing sight. Lots of big chub and big barbel. Wonderful. If you aren't a fisherman, or if you fancy taking up fishing for
coarse fish, barbel, chub, pike, roach, dace, whatever. You can't just go bowling down, bowling down to your local river and fish. You need two things. The first thing you need is permission to use a rod, and you have to buy a license from the Environment Agency, and you can do that on the internet. And it's relatively cheap. But having got your rod license, in other words permission to use a rod, then you also need permission from the owner of the fishery to fish their waters. And if you're a beginner, the easiest way to do this is to join a fishing club. And most big towns have angling clubs. Where I live, Leeds, Bradford, York, Nottingham, they all have angling clubs. The big advantage of an angling club is that they have miles and miles of water which you can fish. In addition to that, you can get lots of help. I mean, most anglers fishing on the bank are quite happy to help people who are new to the sport, as long as you don't hang around bending their ear for an hour or more. And there's masses of information again on the internet which will get you started. And your local angling shop, they will give you help in choosing gear and where to go to fish. The cost of joining an angling club's usually about £50. If you're a junior, or if you've got on in years like me, it's a bit cheaper. And of course you get usually a book which tells you where to fish, and it gives you all the rules and regulations which apply to the club, how many rods you can fish with, and what times you can fish, and so on. It's a great sport, and of course you have lots of camaraderie between anglers. You get to know people if you fish the same waters. For those of you who come from abroad, mainly Europe, but obviously further afield than Europe, you may be used to killing and taking home everything you catch. Well, in coarse fishing circles, all coarse fish are returned to the water as far as possible unharmed. So if you catch fish, you really must look after them, particularly barbel and chub and pike, big fish. And you need to know how to handle them once you get them into the net. And again, there's lots of information on that. Perhaps the most important of which is to keep them out of the water for as short a time as possible. And when you're handling the fish, you need wet hands and a wet unhooking mat, so that you don't damage the slimy skin of the fish, which acts as a barrier to bacteria and fungus. The last thing you want is fish rolling around on dry river banks where the wet skin becomes covered in dust or dry sand. That really is bad news. If you don't have permission from the fishery owner, person who owns the fishing rights to fish their water, then you're poaching. And I think the technical term is theft of fishing rights. In other words, you're stealing, and it's against the law. You could end up with all your with all your gear being confiscated, which would be really bad news. So play by the rules, and I hope you get as much enjoyment from fishing as I've done over the years, and hope to do for many years to come. It's a great sport, and it's not very expensive. You don't need massive expensive gear. And similarly, membership of clubs is very cheap as far as sports go. And there are day ticket waters which you can fish. Again, you get a whole day's enjoyment for about £5. I mean, what more could you want? It can be quite intimidating when you first start out. I remember my first occasion of having got the necessary gear and necessary permits. I found a quiet spot miles from anybody else. I spent 4 hours practicing casting and looking at various river features where fish might be found. Cost me a fortune in feeders, which I threw into the bushes on the opposite side of the bank. But you soon get the hang of it. And when you get that first barbel, that first big chub, it's a truly amazing feeling, and you'll be hooked. Well, the new season starts on June the 16th, and I hope to renew old acquaintances and form new acquaintances with those who've just started the sport or just joined my club. And I hope you have great success in the 2017-2018 season, but for now, take care. Cheerio.